What's up guys, Jurassic Acid here. Thanks for checking out my video. Today we are trying out the new strikers. Now I use the Rift Stalker because I like the passive ability on it and it comes with Wild Frenzy, so when you're below 50% health you're able to attack a lot quicker. Now the difference between Titan's Crash and Adamant Bolt is you do 900 damage to one target versus 800 damage and then 200 damage to nearby targets. So in my opinion, Titan's Crash is going to be most useful in the trial arena because you can actually damage the dogs and stuff with it. Now for the mod slot, I just use Cyclonic Strike Plate because I like it when the Tempest form lasts a little longer. Echo Barrier is good for the damage over time, but I think they both are fairly easy to keep up anyway, so these mods don't necessarily change the playing field any. Now for the mods, I do run Berserker and Conduit on the weapon. For the armor, I have Shroud Helmet with Overpower, the Boris chest piece with Iceborne, Nasher gloves with Overpower, Boris boots with Berserker, and Draskai with Conduit. Now this is a low life build, however I'm not running Discipline. I just have my generic tonics: Assault Tonic, Frenzy Tonic, Aether Tonic. You really don't need tonics unless some of your abilities aren't maxed out, especially Iceborne. Now today we are going to be fighting an Izaga, so I'm going to be using Titan's Crash to hopefully maybe break some of the spikes that it spawns out. But other than that, I would generally swap the two based on whatever you're fighting. Like for Koshai, Titan's Crash would be good for the thorns and stuff also. I feel like the Heroic Izaga is probably one of the best ones to show the gloves off because they're in the mid-range between the hammer and the chain blades. Basically you just knock stuff out with a chain blade attack weapon speed. So I find that it's pretty useful. Now before we actually find them, let's look at the movesets. So you get a Rapid Strike, a Heavy Strike, a Surge which is basically teleporting, which refreshes your mana timer. Now techniques, you have Tempest Form, Karma Breaker, and Titan Crash. So Tempest Form, basically you just need to do one of the three combos: 3 lights, a light, 2 heavy, or 3 heavies. For Karma Breaker you need to have 2 of them enabled. So do 3 lights, a light, and 2 heavies. Or 3 heavies and 3 lights, or any combination that you want. Titan's Crash, you have to have all 3 of these combos completely finished and charged up. While we're fighting I'll be able to show it a little better, but each one has their own individual symbol. So basically Tempest Form and Karma Breaker, you should be able to do 3 Titan Crash attacks before it expires. Unless you run out of time on like a bigger creature that can run away, like a owl or Hellion, where they're able to just to walk away. Those are also harder to hit because of the short range on the weapon. You don't really get any long range attacks other than the laser beam, and the laser beam you really have to have all your abilities charged up. Now as soon as you hit it you basically charge up your first mana bar. Now where it says tap Q and that's where the dash is, that little light blue line there, as soon as you tap it you're able to refresh it. So let's say the boss knocks you down, you're able to tap that right before it runs out and it extends your mana timer. Now this little purple half circle around the boss, that's your damage over time effect from your second Karma ability. I find it's pretty easy to maintain, lasts long enough, and fairly good too. And the damage over time does affect based on your weapon level. So lower level fist will have a weaker damage over time effect. So once you get all 3 of the light blues charged up at the top, you're able to do the little laser beam out of your chest. And generally, if you hit him in the head, you'll pretty much knock him down every single time. Yeah, that was a fairly quick time. What do we get? Now, just so you guys know, for newer players, 356 is based on when you first spawn in, all the way up until the time you find the boss and kill him. So for these runs that you're trying to do under 3 minutes, like this one, we're going to just try to find him as quick as possible and then kill him. You should be able to pretty easily get majority of your under 3 minutes with these gloves on. Let's see what we can do. Now, I use the Drass Lantern for the little damage buff. It doesn't really seem like it needs any more speed in my opinion, so Ember Main's not really that important to me. But more damage never hurts. Now, if some of you don't have another Berserker cell, you could always do +6 Wild Frenzy. And that would just make it so your gloves attack quicker instead of having the extra damage. Either way would work. If you take the Berserker off, you'll have a little bit more health if you have difficulty surviving. But as long as you're able to maintain your attacks on the boss, you should be pretty well maintained. The damage over time doesn't seem to really heal you that much in Iceborne though, so just keep that in mind, that even though you have that ability going on, it probably won't save you, but it still hurts the boss, and it does actually do decent knockout damage on your first hit. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more.